This is George Whitten with Worthy News. There's a lot of things happening today, this Shabbat. It just came out yesterday in the New York Times that Abu Muhammad al-Masri, the number two guy in Al Qaeda, was assassinated in August. It was reported by Western intelligence officials who were not named. Later, in Israel Channel 12, they talked to these quote unquote anonymous intelligence sources claimed that Abu Muhammad al Masri was getting ready to take out Israeli targets. Now, the interesting thing is, this happened in August. And the New York Times has been known in the past to go ahead and plant articles for different intelligence agencies. Something interesting happened this week inside of the United States. We had Mark Esper, the Department of Defense, fired. Part of the reason why he was fired was because he didn't want to withdraw the troops out of Afghanistan. The new Department of Defense Minister of the United States, Christopher Miller, said this is the beginning of the end of the endless wars. So what is happening here? There's two different things that are playing out in my mind, two different scenarios. The first scenario is that, there's people that are in the military industrial complex that don't want the wars to end and are actually trying to stoke up wars. The second scenario in my mind is that Israel needs to go ahead and prepare for war in the next month or two in the event that Joe Biden becomes president, because they don't know what kind of ally they'll have in Joe Biden in case they do go to war with Iran. Now, the thing that's very interesting to me about this whole dynamic is that apparently Al Qaeda, who's Sunni, was assassinated in Tehran, which is Shiite. There's a lot of things that don't make a whole lot of sense in this. The one thing I do know that this is a war and a rumor of war. And so what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is to pray. I mean, we are looking at a situation, a dynamic that we could have a full-blown war in the Middle East. We don't exactly know who's pulling the strings or what's happening exactly, but we do know that now the threat of war has escalated to a brand new degree. On another front, I've gotten a ton of emails about the U.S. elections, and there's a lot of prophetic pictures that have been playing out in my mind. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to be played out. The first prophetic picture was what happened in 2017. In 2017, Donald Trump moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And when he did so, the Temple Institute had created a coin. It called it a Trump coin. And on the coin was Donald Trump and the Median Persian Emperor Cyrus. Now, Cyrus in Isaiah 45 was known as a Mashiach, a Messiah. He's a type of Messiah. He went to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. Now, the thing is, if there is a picture, the connection between Donald Trump and Cyrus, one of the things that Cyrus did was he destroyed Babylon and destroyed if you think about it, Babylon, Belshazzar was having a party while the Medes were coming ready to destroy Babylon, and they thought the city could not be destroyed. They were having a party. They thought the city could never be destroyed. And Cyrus dammed up the river Euphrates, and his armies went underneath the river and slaughtered the entire Babylonian kings, slaughtered the entire royal family. So there's this dynamic in my brain that says this could be taking place again. If this is taking place again, then we have to reconsider what it talks about in Revelation 17:18, because it talks about a Babylon there. What is that Babylon, and what is that Babylonian system? And is that connected to something else that we haven't been watching? I'm not sure. The one thing about prophecy is that the book is still sealed and it's being unveiled. And so we're looking at different pictures of different scenarios that could be. Another thing that prophecy teachers were making connections to were that Ahab was connected to Bill Clinton, that Jezebel was connected to Hillary Clinton, and that Jehu, the king that took over, that killed Ahab, he was a very brash leader, a very harsh leader, and a lot of people made a connection to him to Donald Trump. Well, the very last act of Jehu was actually setting up And he says to them in a very unique way, he says to the worshippers of Baal, listen, Ahab worshiped Baal, but I'm going to worship Baal bigger than anyone ever's had. I'm having a party beyond parties. And if you're a Baal worshiper, you don't show up to the party, I'm going to kill you. He's got everyone at the party. And he says, look, if you're a worshiper of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, if you're a worshiper of Yehovah, you have to leave this party. What does he do? Whoever is a true worshiper of God left the party. Here are the Baal worshippers, and what does Jehu do? He slaughters them all. It was like he killed off the entire Baal worshiping system. So there is a dynamic in my brain that is looking at, were these elections a setup to draw in all the bad players, to go ahead and gather all these people? Was it set up to draw in, thinking that they could never be defeated, so they actually get destroyed? Could it be that what Matthew talks about, everything that was hidden is going to be unhidden, that nothing revealed, anything concealed will not be revealed? Or is this a situation where we're actually getting ready to have a type of civil war situation where 70 million plus Americans are going to be very upset, and it's going to bring a level of distrust that they've never had? Whatever the case is, our job remains the same. We're kings and priests of the Most High God. We're called to intercede. We're called to pray. We're called to reap in a harvest. We're called to preach the gospel of the kingdom. And our job hasn't changed. Jesus, he remained king over all 50 states. He was never voted. He didn't need your vote. He stayed king, and he's still king over everything. So whatever comes about, whatever happens, the one thing is that we are in his hands, and we're just going to trust in that. So Shabbat Shalom. My name is George Whitten, the editor of Worthy News. Catch us sometime. God bless.